Okay, my name's Katherine Connelly and I'm the author of a new political biography of Sylvia Pankhurst. I'm a historian, a writer and an activist. I wrote this book about Sylvia Pankhurst because I think her ideas are so relevant for people engaged in struggles today, the struggles against war, the struggles against austerity. I think the same dilemmas and challenges that Sylvia Pankhurst came up with are the same dilemmas that face campaigners today, and that's why I really was passionate about writing this book. And I hope that in some way this book might be useful. The most surprising thing I think I came across when I was researching the book was the extent to which the political activity in the last 20 or 30 years of her life as a foremost campaigner against racism, against imperialism and against fascism is something that's been completely overlooked, I think, previously, and I was quite astounded to find out there was very little written on that period of her life, and I hope that in some way I've redressed the balance a little bit by looking at some of those later parts of her life. I think if Sylvia Pankhurst were alive today, she would be very much at the forefront of today's campaigns. I think it's very unfortunate that the same problems and oppressions that she was campaigning against are the same problems and oppressions that we experience today. We still have to fight for women's liberation, we still have to campaign against war, against imperialism. All of these things that she cared about and that she wanted to campaign against, unfortunately, are still features of today's world. So I think were she alive today, I think she would be active in the campaign against war. I think she would be very much involved in the campaign against the austerity agenda. Just the same way in the First World War the government wanted to make the poor pay for that war while the rich carried on as normal. That seems to be such a parallel with what's going on with austerity today. I think she would have been angered by that massively. In her own time she was a prominent campaigner against racism, and I think she would be absolutely horrified at the way in which successive governments in Britain have been scapegoating the Muslim community. I think she would have been very much against that. When we think about what kind of tactics Sylvia Pankhurst would be advocating for movements today, I think we can look back to the way she tried to build the suffragette movement in the East End amongst working women, I think, very much for inspiration. And I think she would be advocating collective action on as big a level as possible, which is just what she did in the East End of London in 1914, organising huge demonstrations, but also combining that with acts of civil disobedience and direct action as well. I think she saw there was a place for all different kinds of tactics in the movement, but that the main thing was that the largest number of people possible could be mobilised to support those tactics. She never believed that just direct action on its own was what was necessary. She believed that that had to be supported by the vast majority of people. So she always wanted her tactics to appeal to the vast majority as well.